so nice to see your beautiful faces again. As you know, my name is Folashade Ofurine, and I'm the Executive Director of Health Education and Empowerment Initiative Canada Incorporated. And today is another wonderful episode of our favorite program, Ponder Health. We will be discussing work-life balance, a very important topic. But as usual, I will still do a brief introduction of what Ponder Health is. It was started in 2025, November. It's actually a public health program. The essence is to bring accessible, culturally relevant, and practical health knowledge to people directly. And it's a library-based program. You know it's very interactive. We have talks, discussions, videos, role plays, a lot of activities. So I keep having to introduce this so that those people joining us online or joining us watching it online on social media can still understand the background. So today we will first of all start with a true to life story of someone who is Amina. And Amina is an immigrant to Canada. She came to Canada about 3 years ago, with a lot of hopes. And she was fortunate to have job in her career, but then the long hours of working, the pressure and everything. So every day she's exhausted, it ends exhausted, and then the work is just non-stop. And as you know, you get it per hour, right? If you don't work per hour, you don't get the money. So she keeps piling up the work hours just to make the money. And then at the same time, she has a family at home. She has responsibilities. She has to juggle the family needs, maintain the family. People in her own country, she still has to answer to them. Oh, I need this, I need that. You have to send them some money or you have to call them. There's a lot going on. And it's taking a lot of from her to stay strong. But then she keeps telling herself, when I'm done, when things settle down, I will rest. When things settle down, I will rest. And that's how she keeps pushing it up. So one day she finds out that everything looks to be going right. Everything seems to be going all right. But she's tired. She's drained. She's disconnected. She just feels like she's always having to catch up with one thing. There's always one thing that is almost going wrong. Now, but if you look at her outside, she looks good. Oh, she has a good job. She has good children. Their work is going well. Everything. But inside, she is tired. So my question to you is, how many of us feel like that? Do we feel like Amina? Yes, we do. At one point or the other in our lives, we feel like Amina. This is exactly a picture of what work-life balance is. Having to juggle too many things at the same time. That brings us to understanding what work-life balance actually is. Because if we look at it, we might think we need to put it in the same portion, and the amount of time I'm putting it for work must be the same amount of time I'm putting it for my family, for rest and what have you. Is it really like that? Does it change? And is it the same for everyone? So this video will kind of show us and make us understand basically that work-life balance is unique to individuals and it might change at each point in time. So
because of Rossman, I am ready for it all.
So please enjoy.
Worries rising about a flooded basement? We get it. And wish your insurance covered water damage? We got you. With coverage for sudden and accidental water damage, your worries will float away. Get a quote and buy online.
This is the Audi R8. It's a highly efficient and compelling car. Its engine produces an astonishing 199 kW at 6,500 RPM and a torque of 330 Nm at 4,000 RPM. Part of the reason that it's so efficient, and part of what makes us human beings comparatively inefficient, is that this car has only one goal, and that goal is exceptionally clear. It has to go very fast down tarmac roads. As a general principle, no machine can be optimally efficient at more than one thing. A robot that has to both climb stairs and make pancakes will be far less efficient than two distinct machines, each of which can focus exclusively on a single task. The more limited the goals, the higher one's chances of efficiency. Now, unlike the Audi sports car, our brains are not designed or evolved to be maximally efficient at any one thing. This amazing cognitive and emotional machine is a profound generalist. It comes moderately well equipped for a huge range of possible activities. To write a novel, spear fish, bring up a child, drive very fast up Fifth Avenue, sit in a high-rise office writing reports, live in a hut in New Guinea, marry, plot an assassination, live in an ice cave, go into politics, stay single, or expand a small business into the Asia market. Now, the price we pay for being generalists is that we'll be less good at any one of the many activities we perform than someone who did only one thing their whole life long. We might not be the very best at inflating party balloons. The house will be a bit dirty. We might be a bit late for the meeting. We'll not be perfect, patient, and interested dinner companions. We'll mess up the public presentation again. Someone would probably be better than we are at helping a child to paint. This might be quite depressing at moments, perhaps late at night as we look back across the day. But before we get too sad, we should realize that our less than completely optimal performance is down to one very understandable thing, that we've chosen breadth and variety over total focus and narrow perfection. And that's a very wise choice. Focusing on one thing to the exclusion of all others has its costs, as anyone who's ever spoken to an athlete who trains 10 hours a day tends to find out. There's a cost to being the human equivalent of a sports car. Unfortunately, our society has set up an absurd idea that it will be possible to do many things and do them all completely well. That's why we hear so much talk about an elusive thing called work-life balance, perfectly optimal career and a perfectly optimal home life. This is a mad idea. Work-life balance is impossible because everything worth fighting for unbalances your life. We're not going to be at once the ideal domestic chef, child carer, and CEO. If we're strung out across multiple roles, all will suffer, but that's okay. That you're doing too much and none of it without mistakes isn't a sign that your life has gone wrong. It's a sign of a very wise and understandable position, that you've opted for imperfect variety over flawless focus.
So, from that video, it is very clear there is nothing like perfect work-life balance. And because we are doing several things at the same time, and if we say we want to concentrate on only one thing, a lot of other things will go wrong. So now that we understand that there is nothing like, oh, it's perfect work-life balance, then we need to learn the lessons from that basis. We need to be able to prioritize at each point in time. What are those things? How do we apportion time and what have you? As we go along in this program today, we will learn how to juggle the different aspects and kind of see ourselves. So, the first thing I want us to look at is there are actually 4 types of work-life balance challenges. And I want you to look at yourself and say, where am I? The first one is role overload. You have too many responsibilities, but there's no enough time. You don't even have the energy. Work, school, family, career, everything is too much on you. And you want to do it, but you don't have enough time. You don't have enough energy. That's one of the challenges. Another one is work-family conflict. This time around, the job demand interferes with family life. This, for instance, let me give an example of somebody who is a medical doctor and is on call. And they're like, okay guys, tonight we are going to have very nice family dinner outside. The wife has done all she could to get everything together. The kids are even behaving for the first time in days. And the table is being set. And the husband receives the call. Sorry, we have an emergency at the hospital. He has to go. So at that point in time, the demand of the job is interfering with the family need. Besides that, even our own personal business, if we want a business, if we don't take time, maybe somebody has a shop and he or she is selling something and they normally close 5, but just 5 minutes to 5, you've not sold so much since morning. Somebody came in and like, I want to buy this, I want to buy that. You will wait because I can't go home without making this money. And then by the time you are done selling to that person, another person comes, before you look at the time, it's already 7 p.m. and your family dinner was 6 p.m. That is how work conflicts with family. The demand of the job is interfering with family life. That's the second scenario. The third one is family work conflict. The family responsibilities affect work performance. This is an example. Somebody who has a nursing baby of 6 months old and has a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old and maybe a 6 years old, and then she's still working. So when she's at home, the baby is crying overnight, she's waking up to breastfeed, she has to express her milk so that she can take it to the daycare. The 2-year-old is doing tantrums, the 6 years old is not doing well in school. Like, it's a lot. By the time she goes to sleep in the night and she keeps waking up to breastfeed the baby, or even if to give the baby the bottle, the following day she's waking up exhausted. She goes to work, her performance begins to drop. That's one very nice a scenario of where the family life might interfere with work. Now, the last one is caregiver strain. This time, the stress of caring for someone impacts their daily life, other people's daily life. This can happen maybe we have an elderly person at home we are taking care of. We have people living with disabilities we are taking care of. We have very little children sometimes. And the stress of doing that affects every other person, because now you are planning, okay, we are going on a journey, let's go for a vacation, and everybody's planning, and the 2-year-old baby suddenly falls sick. It's interfering with everybody's life. Now the mom has to take time off from work, the father has to take time off because he has to drive them to the hospital they refer them to, and then the other ones must be withdrawn and taken to a friend that, see, that is how caregiver strain works. That is according to Health Canada. So I want you to think, where are you right now? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, or a combination of each of them. So I want us at this point, this particular episode, we are not going to wait to the end before we start filling our quadrant. So on the table there, you will see that you have your quadrant already. That one that has not the second one, the other one that has quadrants. Yes, this is a quadrant here. Yes. So we're not going to be waiting to the end to do that. While we are here now, it's time to reflect. This question right now, where do you think you are? Write it there. Number 1 or number 2 or whatever. You can put how you feel. So that by the time you are leaving, you write it like your note. It's like your notebook. Okay. So then why is work-life balance very important? It's very, very important because our mental health is involved, our productivity is involved, our relationship is involved. And when we do not manage them, we get burnout. When the stress is too much, you find anxiety, depression, like you just feel like I'm useless because you are not able to meet everything. And you begin to feel like, what is my purpose? I'm the wife, or I'm the husband. I'm not able to provide the money that is needed. I'm not able to support my wife emotionally. I'm not able to support my husband economically. The children, I'm not able to help them with their schoolwork. You begin to feel so bad about yourself. And if you don't take time, like we've studied before, mental health, which is always up and down, like we learned before, is affected. Productivity. At work, you are not able to do your best anymore because you are just overwhelmed. Even when you are at work and you just get a call from school, come pick up your child, is running temperature. You have to drop your work and go there. It's affecting your productivity. You are not putting your best into your business anymore. And then your relationship, if it's not properly managed, it can cause problem between the husband and the wife. It can cause problem between the parents and the kids, between the kids and their it can be complicated and it can lead to burnout. That is why we need to have that balance, which is difficult to achieve, but at each point in time, trying to achieve. So we are going to see a video that shows us why how stress affects our body, which is stress is coming out from not being able to balance the life together and work together easily. So then, how does that affect us? What other things does it lead to? So that we can know this is a serious thing, so that we can nip it in the bud before it becomes a serious issue.
In public health, you're called to protect health and save lives. To find ways to solve both new and long-standing public health challenges with innovative thinking. No problem, right? Not when you have world-class training from Johns Hopkins.
Cramming for a test? Trying to get more done than you have time to do? Stress is a feeling we all experience when we are challenged or overwhelmed. But more than just an emotion, stress is a hardwired physical response that travels throughout your entire body. In the short term, stress can be advantageous, but when activated too often or too long, your primitive fight or flight stress response not only changes your brain, but also damages many of the other organs and cells throughout your body. Your adrenal gland releases the stress hormones cortisol, epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, and norepinephrine. As these hormones travel through your bloodstream, they easily reach your blood vessels and heart. Adrenaline causes your heart to beat faster and raises your blood pressure, over time causing hypertension. Cortisol can also cause the endothelium, or inner lining of blood vessels, to not function normally. Scientists now know that this is an early step in triggering the process of atherosclerosis, or cholesterol plaque buildup in your arteries. Together, these changes increase your chances of a heart attack or stroke. When your brain senses stress, it activates your autonomic nervous system. Through this network of nerve connections, your big brain communicates stress to your enteric or intestinal nervous system. Besides causing butterflies in your stomach, this brain-gut connection can disturb the natural rhythmic contractions that move food through your gut, leading to irritable bowel syndrome, and can increase your gut's sensitivity to acid, making you more likely to feel heartburn. Via the gut's nervous system, stress can also change the composition and function of your gut bacteria, which may affect your digestive and overall health. Speaking of digestion, does chronic stress affect your waistline? Well, yes. Cortisol can increase your appetite. It tells your body to replenish your energy stores with energy-dense foods and carbs, causing you to crave comfort foods. High levels of cortisol can also cause you to put on those extra calories as visceral or deep belly fat. This type of fat doesn't just make it harder to button your pants. It is an organ that actively releases hormones and immune system chemicals called cytokines that can increase your risk of developing chronic diseases, such as heart disease and insulin resistance. Meanwhile, stress hormones affect immune cells in a variety of ways. Initially, they help prepare to fight invaders and heal after injury, but chronic stress can dampen the function of some immune cells, make you more susceptible to infections, and slow the rate you heal. Want to live a long life? You may have to curb your chronic stress. That's because it has even been associated with shortened telomeres, the shoelace tip ends of chromosomes that measure a cell's age. Telomeres cap chromosomes to allow DNA to get copied every time a cell divides without damaging the cell's genetic code, and they shorten with each cell division. When telomeres become too short, a cell can no longer divide, and it dies. As if all that weren't enough, chronic stress has even more ways it can sabotage your health, including acne, hair loss, sexual dysfunction, headaches, muscle tension, difficulty concentrating, fatigue, and irritability. So, what does all this mean for you? Your life will always be filled with stressful situations, but what matters to your brain and entire body is how you respond to that stress. If you can view those situations as challenges you can control and master, rather than as threats that are insurmountable, you will perform better in the short run and stay healthy in the long run.
And public health?
So, we've seen how stress leads to so many other things. And before we've discussed anxiety, so we kind of know what stress brings to our body. We will now be going to the next activity, which is the life wheel. This is the ideal, quote unquote, piece of the pies that we need to have. Work, health, fun, finance, personal growth, relationship. Everybody has their own portion and they seem to be doing well. But we know that this is not the reality. And it's not realistic to be the reality because the space for the work is not even so big. But it just shows us like we need to have the sections. They don't disturb each other. But in real life, it's not possible they disturb each other. So I want you to look at the other activity tool you have, which is the live wheel exercise here. So it has two cycles. The first cycle on the right hand side is your current life. The other one is your ideal life. So in each of these cycles, we should have the work, family or relationship, health, personal growth, rest, finances. So I want you to take time. That is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Divide the pie according to which one, the size of each of them in your life right now. Then you put a figure into it, like based on your current satisfaction. If your family size, even if the family is so small, but you're satisfied with it, you put a 10. And maybe your work is really large, but you're not satisfied with it, you put a 1. So you rate it like that. So let's give ourselves some minutes and let's make our own pie by ourselves.
So education will fall under work and career, right?
Yes, it will form under work and career. Family, health. You just check like something like the previous, like something like this. You just draw the lines in the cycle, and then you put you label each of them. Okay. For example, if this is what yeah, and then you label it that with this size. different sizes, and then just put a number into it under the current life, the one that has the purple title on top. Put your phone and put your number there. Putting it under health, work, family. Those are the things you want to put. Not what you're thinking. Not put number. Which of them is more? Are you satisfied with it right now? Put the number. You're done. Okay. Let's give others a few minutes to catch up. Remember, there is no wrong or right answer. It's essentially how you feel.
What I do.
So now look at it. Look at your cycle. What do you need? What do you think needs to change? Looking at your cycle, do you think maybe your satisfaction with your health, maybe you rated it as 4, 5 over 10? Do you think it needs to change, or do you think you're just good like that, 5 over 10? Or your satisfaction with rest, you had 1, and you're like, no, I need to have time for rest. So maybe I need to make the pie a little bigger for rest and move it up. So look at it and say, what areas do you think need to change? Think about it. Then go to the next cycle now. Based on what you are thinking, should be the ideal way that you'll be very happy. Like if this is the way my life is, this is good. Like you want your health to be half of the pie, you can do it. Whatever. Just design, do the other cycle now, what you want yourself to be. Let's give some people some minutes to catch up on their wheel. Yeah. So if you look at your wheel, you will see it gives you a picture of what the kind of life you have been living, and you see your report card in your wheel, and then you're like, oh, I think I need to do more with my family, or I need to do more with my personal growth. Because often in the course of life, we spend so much time on family, work, and other things, and we neglect personal growth. And that's when we begin to feel useless. I'm going to feel like, oh, I wanted to do this. I would have loved to learn to play this piano. I would have loved to travel, but I didn't do nothing. And now I'm old. So that's why it's important for us to do that. Now, look at that pie you have. What is draining you the most? Which of them is stressing you the most? Taking too much of your time and your energy that you really want to give it. Some might be taking a lot of your time and energy, but you really want to give it. But the one that is stressing you so much, which one is that? Take note of it. Then which one are you neglecting? Which of them? Or are you neglecting that you think, oh, I need to improve, I need to do better. So take the time now to look at your Honda X quadrant, and then like one new thing you have found, you can put it under there like, oh, I have found that I need to maybe for example, my work is stressing me too much and I need to improve, or I'm neglecting my personal growth. You can write it there under the learn and refrain. One new insight or fact I found that I found that my my family is being neglected, or I found that I'm taking my phone is taking too much of my time. There's some people like that. They are so engrossed in fun activities they don't have time for any other. So we are now in that box now, and then now it's time to take action. What is that one thing you can do? And that's where this statement comes in. This week, I will protect my balance by what is that thing you are going to do this week or next week to make sure that you protect your work-life balance. Think about it. Give yourself some few minutes. Maybe I'm almost always all the time just scrolling too much on social media. I'm going to reduce my time on social media and increase my time in reading books. That's just an example. So we are now in the act quadrant where you do that. And then what conversation can you start? As a family, as an individual, we might need to have some conversation as a family. Maybe we find that as family we are no longer spending enough time together. What discussion do we want to have? Or as a family, we are not taking our health seriously. What's the conversation we are going to have? So we can put that under the act contract. Now, from what we have learned today, what are the things that we can do? The action tools. One of them is setting boundaries. No work after this time of the day. Once it is 6 p.m., once it is 5 p.m., once it is 2 p.m., I'm not working anymore. Once it is 8 p.m., I am not going to social media anymore. I'm putting my phone down. I want to spend time with my family. What boundaries? That is one thing you can do in times of action. Another thing is time blocking. I found that it's for me especially, it works for me if I set my alarm so that it rings at different times of the day, and I will already put what I want to do so that if it rings, I'll not be like, what is it ringing for? I will have put it time to go to this place. So if I'm going to a place by 3 p.m., I usually set it so that it will ring maybe like 2:30. So I will put it, for example, go to the library at 3 p.m. So I know it's ringing at 2:30, but it's telling me at 3 p.m. you need to be at the library. So I have 30 minutes to do whatever else I'm doing and get myself out of that place. So that's one thing I found effective for me. I'm sharing that. I know we all have one way or the other that we block times for things. Another thing is energy management. Some of us have very high energy, while some of us have low energy or get our energy drained. What is it that is draining our energy? So we need to manage it and look at it. I don't want, if you find that maybe there is a friend that each time you interact with that person, the interaction stresses you. It's so stressful. You have to think, perhaps, maybe it's time I reduce that time. Maybe I go there every day. Why can't I go there just 2 times a week? So that I don't drain myself of that energy. And then when I get home, I'm not able to play with my kids. I'm not able to sleep on time because I'm just hungry. We need to look at that. And lastly, being able to say no. It is okay to say no. Somebody likes to call you, oh, would you like to go out with me for a drink? Every time. It's good. And the person is a nice person to be around. But then, because you didn't plan to go for a drink that time of the day, and you are like, okay, I don't want to say no to him or her, then you drop something else that you wanted to do. So these are some of the practical things we can do. Actions we can take to try. Now is you have a question?
Yeah, I was just thinking about if this work-life balancing problem was 50 years ago, or it is just a newer thing in this society.
Please come again. I don't
This work-life balance theory, or what we are challenge, is it an older thing like 50 years ago, or it's a new concept for the new generation?
Oh, okay. Well, work-life balance is not a new concept.
Yeah.
Maybe we have just put a name to it, but it has always been there. If you grow up in the village, you see our grannies or old people. They have time, they go to work, to their farms. They have time, they come home. They have time, they eat. They have time, they go outside to talk to their peers, to play games under the tree. That is work-life balance.
They had good balance compared
to us. They've managed their system because they don't have too many things as much as we have right now. As at that time, they don't have social media, they don't have mobile phone. Even if in the generation where we have landlines, like you don't sit with the phone every day and say maybe somebody will call me. It's the one you pick, that's the one you pick. Somebody wants to get you, the person has to keep trying several times of the day to get you. Because there's no phone recorder that can drop messages for you. They have lesser things conflicting with their time, but they still had work-life balance. We might not have a name for it as at that time, but it is more an issue right now because we have too many things stealing our time. And we have just 24 hours in a day. Sometimes I feel like maybe I can borrow from tomorrow.
Exactly. I was telling my parents that sometimes I feel if there was 40 hours in a day, 24 hours is not enough. And regarding social media, I mean, okay, you can avoid Facebook, Instagram, that's fine. But for work, you have to be maintaining LinkedIn. And if you do not do that, you lose connection.
Yes.
Then your work will suffer.
Yes. It's a
That's all.
yes. Yes, it's a challenge. To think that that app is a social media, but it has become so important that you want to put your profile there and make sure that your profile is up to date and is current. You put some things to post there so that when you want to get a job, people can reach you and know that you are up and doing. But then one thing about that app is that it doesn't, if you don't want to make it your major app, it doesn't take your time. Because you just sit down, you look at what is wrong, you edit it and put it. Once you have put it in, you can leave it for a long time. That is the beauty of that. But other social media platforms, especially if you want to be engaging with people, you have to be posting. If you don't post, you will know that the algorithm will not bring up your video, people will not follow you, it's a lot. So, intentional living. Be intentional. I spend a lot of time on social media. But what am I doing there? I am learning. I am learning. I am that question I've had in my mind of how to do this, how that works, what can I do? I put it there, I watch the videos. It can be videos that are for hours. I will stay with it and watch it. And I share a lot of it to myself.
Yeah.
Because I know I need it. Or maybe there's a situation I find myself in, I'm wondering, how do I handle this? What do? I go to social media. You will find somebody who has already done a video on it. You will find something, no matter how small. You will see their experiences. So, intentional. Instead of using that social media just to go and gossip about, oh, this person has divorced this person, this one and this one are beefing each other, that instead of using your time on that, turn it to a learning platform, because it can actually be a learning platform. It's what you make or make of it. So that is intentional living. And then we go back to protecting your energy. Okay, let me give another instance. There are some things that we do that drains our energy. I heard of someone who said he has a playlist of sorrowful music. I was shocked that how can somebody have a playlist of sorrowful music? That means the person wants to be draining their energy, because there is no way you will hear those songs that you will not be feeling sad. The person is already affected. So instead of doing that, why don't you have a playlist of songs that motivate you? Or if you have your friends, you know which of them you know that if they call you, you have to make the call sharp, sharp, sharp. Because if you keep long, they are going to end up starting the quarrel or whatever, and then try to pull you to what does not concern you. Protect your energy so you can have time for what matters. That's it, choosing what matters. What is most important for me at this time? Is it rest? If that is what is important, please prioritize it. There are some times in our life when we just have to drop everything. We just have to be like, no, even family, can you just give me a break? Create time. And one thing I have found that works for me is using pockets of time. Because there is no time anyway. Like you said, you wanted 40 hours a day. Well, right now we have only 24 hours. Okay, why don't you put a book in your bag? You know you are going on a journey with somebody to a place, and the person is the one driving. You can take the time to be reading that book. So you are spending time on your personal growth. You are spending time on fun because you are enjoying the book, it's for recreation. Or you are waiting at the reception for someone. You can take that time to read that book. or watch that video that you have been, oh, yeah, there's this video I shared to myself that you can quickly watch it. I found that it's really, really helpful. And it's so helpful for me that I remember when I was nursing my children, there is an annual publication that I love to read. So I found that because it's stressful, the baby is, you're always with the baby. If I want to say I want to create time for this thing to read, I will not be able to. So what is what I do? Anytime I pick the baby to nurse, I carry the book.
Yeah.
Because you are useless.
Yeah.
You are useless. When you are nursing the baby, you are useless. You can don't if it's using 20 minutes to breastfeed, you are just wasting your 20 minutes. So I will take that book and read. You won't believe it. I finished that book in 2 weeks. And people were like, how many of you have finished? I was like, I raised up my hand, they were shocked. Like you are breastfeeding a baby, how are you able to do it? I told them, they were like, that is interesting. So we have to begin to think about time differently. How do we do things in pairs? In pairs. You are cooking a meal that has 30 minutes in between. I know you are cooking dinner, but you have gotten to a point where you cannot do anything but to wait. That 30 minutes, what are you doing with it? Your little child has been saying, Mommy, I want to show you this little song on my phone. That's the time to go look at it. You're like, okay, come, let me see the phone. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, is that your friend? That's the time. You have that 30 minutes. You cannot go and cook the food. You cannot turn. There's nothing you can do. You have to give it time. So, looking at time differently and understanding that what matters at one point in time, we need to give that thing that attention so that we don't build up stress, so that we don't get to that point of that person that became blown up in the cartoon and became so big because of stress. So that is some of what we have learned. Now we are moving to an important point, which is what's the topic for next month? Next month we are here, May 14th. What would you like us to talk about?
No, you decide. Then I decide.
What do you want to say? What can I say?
There is no topic that is out of the way. There is no topic that is irrelevant. So long as that topic is what you want to learn, so long as ultimately it improves your health, it's well.
What activities we can do.
Summer activities with the kids
Summer activities with the kids.
and
Okay,
family.
great. So,
Canada, because we do not know much. Today I heard that my colleague, they're saying that something is coming. There's drought for April, and there will be blockage for bonfire. My colleague was telling, "Oh, I just want to do the bonfire before the drought, but I have to wait now." And I said, "Do you do it every day?" So many times. She said so many times, but we are new. We know nothing about how to do it, where to do it, what are the things you need to carry, maybe what activities we can do as family can,
okay,
especially for summer.
this is a beautiful topic. Family activities that we can do as immigrants.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's a newcomer immigrants.
Yeah. So our next topic for May is family activities for immigrants. So we are going to do a lot of research. Get ready to watch many videos of families doing it. So we get to the last section. Question and answer. Do you still have some questions we have not answered? Or you have some things to share? This is the time to say. What have you observed? What have you learned? What do you feel? How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel nice. Yes, I learned a lot of things that how stress interrupt your mental health and your physical. So, what else we can do to control or minimize our anxiety or stress? Sometimes things are out of hand. For example, I'm studying and I have children, and when even if I tried several times studying in morning, but it doesn't help because my sleep isn't full. Even if I go to bed early, it's not done. I feel sleep in the morning. I cannot focus. Like I'm studying. What happens when I study? When I'm focusing something on it, I feel sleepy. Okay. So at daytime, I work. I have family. I cook, so I cannot study. I go to study at night. And sometimes I feel really stressful. Sometimes I try to meditate and calm down. And sometimes I pray. Like in the middle, suppose I'm studying and I'm stressed, and in the middle I go to pray to make me calm down. Anything else that you can suggest? Sometimes I go to social media to reduce my stress.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, like I'm studying, I'm researching on something, and then I go to Facebook. I just read a story in Facebook in my language. I mean, rather than reading in English, I feel that if I study in my language, it gives me more, dopamine release. I can relate with it more.
It's more calming effect for you. Yeah, because you don't have to try to look at them. What are they trying to say?
Yeah.
The language comes naturally.
Naturally.
I get what you're saying, and I really love your question. I am in your situation. That is the funny.
Yeah, I know you. You can tell me better. That's you.
Okay, so this is what I have found that works. First, I found that the time for cooking takes a lot from us, because by the time we are back from work, we are tired and we still want to cook. So what I try to do is prepping food, cooking food in bulk ahead. So, for example, as a Nigerian, Canadian, we eat more of food that are soups or stews, rice and stew, swallow and soups, and we have that. So I cook different soups and stews, and I portion them in the freezer. So I know that if I want to eat rice, I just put the rice on fire and I have the stew already. And I also boil either my chicken or my meat or my fish. I boil whatever I want to do to it. Either I want to grill it, I want to fry it, I'll do it already. I'll put it in the freezer. So the meat is ready. It's not in the soup. Depending on the type of soup I'm cooking, I will put that protein separate, so that when I want to warm that soup, I'm taking out the protein and putting it, so it's going to taste fresh. So prepping your food is really very helpful, because then if you have kids that can understand, you can be like, go to the freezer, I have this, I have that, take it out and do this and that. So that time you're supposed to be cooking at that point in time, you can use it for your school, because you have locked that time off. Another thing is that take your time to sleep, because if you don't sleep, you'll be useless. You need it. Another thing is for book is sometimes I, as a person, I wake up in the midnight and the sleep is gone. There's nothing I'm doing, I'm not able to sleep. I don't waste it. If that's the time you have, maybe in your course that you are doing, they told you to find some articles. That's the time to look for it on your phone. Don't need to get up from your bed. Just take your phone and put it in articles. Go to wherever you have searched it, share it to your email, share. So you have done that part. By the time you are done with it, you are already tired. It makes you sleep. Like I said, it's pockets of time. Whatever assignment or book or education you are doing, learn to portion it. For instance, I'm schooling online. So right now I'm in the research section, so it's no longer structured, but I want to give you when it was structured. So it's actually Monday to Sunday. So what I do is, today is Sunday, for example. It's actually the last day of another week. And while I'm preparing to submit my assignment for this week, that is ending today, I just go and open what I have in that portal for next week. Just browse, just look at it, not reading, just look at it. And if there are articles I need to download, I just download. I have them already, especially when I was in my country where there is network, whatever, light, whatever. So I just download quickly. Then I just leave it. Tomorrow, I look at it. We have submissions. Something is due on Wednesday, another one is due on Friday, and something is due on Sunday. So I know Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. I must submit. Okay, so that Monday, I will look at what is due on Wednesday. I will ignore that one of Friday. I will ignore the one of Sunday. What is due right now by Wednesday? I will look at it. What are they saying? Maybe the question is like a paragraph of several. So I will open my Microsoft Word and then space those questions. There is no answer. I just put the first one here, put space, put the second question, just put space there. I've kind of created like a draft. If I feel I have time or I feel up to it, I start to read the publications and whatever to prepare. But if I'm not able to do it and I still know that I am supposed to do something, but I'm not in the feeling so good to read or whatever, I just go to the one on Friday. I'll do the same thing. Just create a frame. The one of Sunday, I create a frame. By the time I do that, I've already done a lot. It's okay. Tuesday, or that time I'm not able to sleep in the night, then I will go and read. It has a lot of videos. I watch the videos involved in it to understand what it's all about. I will read, take some notes. I usually put an exercise book on my bed with a pencil so that I don't have to get up, because getting up can disturb the sleep of your partner. So what I have it, so I just note it down. Whatever it is that comes up in my ideas as to whatever I'm reading, even if it's question I'm thinking I need to answer, I note it down. So by Tuesday, I know I have to do this thing. So, but because I've already done that prelim or even introduction, maybe I say, what is economics? I'll be like, economics is. What is biology? Biology is. I've not written anything. Because I've put those little things, I don't feel like I'm starting from zero. I do that. Then I also relate with my colleagues, my schoolmates. Maybe there's one thing that while I was watching those videos or I was reading those articles, there was something I really don't understand. I was just like, what do you think? This particular thing I'm not understanding. What is it? Can you just give me like a summary of what it's all about? So once that person has already told me that summary, if I go back to that book to read, it really helps me to understand, because the person has already told me the key point. So I'm not going like, what is it all about? Well, I already have an idea. One key thing that I want to give you is, if you have the option of buying a book, hard copy, or buying the e-copy, please buy the e-copy. I used to kill myself with hard copy, but I have this friend. He was like, what's wrong with you? Why you was that? Yeah, I'm still looking for it. I've been looking there, and then they were like, why are you wasting your time? Why are you buying the hard copy? Buy the e-copy.
Yeah, you just said.
Because you just said. You just put in the keyword. Oh my goodness. This particular friend of mine is very smart.
Yeah.
This guy is very smart. Since I started buying e-books, my life became different.
Yeah.
I get my assignments done faster.
And also you can read wherever you are.
You are. So, and I read, and then by the time I do that, that's Tuesday. I don't kill myself to finish everything on that Tuesday. Wednesday, I go back to it again. Whatever bit I can put. Then I'm putting my references down.
Yeah.
I want to use it. I've already put the reference so that I don't have to go and be saying, where's the reference for this one? Each time I use a reference, I put the reference down. So that way, by Wednesday, when that thing is due, I have done 70% of the work. Then I have the 30% to sit down and I must submit this. Fortunately, I have up to 12 p.m. to do it. So even if it means everybody has gone to sleep, that 30%, I'll be able to finish it. And if I'm able to finish it and the one for Friday, I just have the energy or the light bulb to do it, I do it ahead. And sometimes I'm not able to do it ahead because I keep doing bits and bits. They add up. That key is bits and bits. Don't wait to do everything at once. It's stressful. It's bits at a time. Just keep dumping. You'll be surprised once you start doing it. Then, where are you reading? I used to be the brick and mortar person that I have to sit on the table, I put my chair, I put on the lamp, put some music, and then I'm ready to read. But I have another friend. When I was in the university, my first degree, this friend is very smart also. When we go all out to go and read in the evening, she'll just be in the room. And I'll be like, is she not going to read? Like, is she not? But I know she's a serious person. So I will go around and around looking for where to read. By the time I see where I'm reading, I'm already tired. And then when I'm reading, somebody will come and be talking to you and you want to read, the person is disturbing you. So by the time I come into the room, I'll be like, hey, this person came and be disturbing me. The noise they were making, she used to laugh. I'm like, please stop laughing. Can you just tell me what you are doing? He said, calm down. When they go to read, let them go. So everybody, once it's 6 p.m., everybody's packing their bag and going to read. She's going to be just be smiling. Give it 30 minutes, the whole room is quiet. It has become a library. There is nobody in the room anymore. He said, now take your book and start reading. I was like, oh my goodness. But because I'm used to sitting at a table, I have to sit on my bed. You know, it's a very comfortable position. Initially, I was sleeping. She was like, don't worry, you get used to it. By the time I got used to it, I must tell you, my grade got better.
This is the reason I study at night, because it's calm and quiet. There is no noise.
So I think those kind of tips I'm giving, just pair them up together, see what works in your situation. But once we are done with this, we can always talk after the program to know the specific one that relates to your program, and I might come up with other ideas. So thank you everyone for being here. I hope you enjoyed the program. Thank you. So next month we're going to be talking about family activities for immigrants. Yeah, we're not even make it